Real Madrid, on the other hand, I feel like they're obviously the team that was one of the teams we wanted to watch today, right, Tony? Will they be pleased with the result, considering having 9 players on the pitch at the end of the match?
Yeah, look, they lost one right in the dying seconds of the game, right, on a sort of a weird play. But I came in, I was telling Lisa earlier when I came in, I was so excited because I've seen this Wolfsburg side from the first match day, right? And I watched the coverage here, and they had scored 33 goals in the last 11 games in all comps. I'm like, oh, here we go, buckle up. Here's Wolfsburg again. And I think I told you guys sort of match day 2 or so, this was my favorite team in the Champions League. I got a dose of Real Madrid today when I watch this, and a team that sits back. They play in a low block. Linda Caicedo up top. I'm looking at assists throughout the day. I don't care what Champions League game you're watching in world football. The Weir assist is as good as any assist as we're going to see in the game. So they have a real identity. They clearly want to be a counter-attacking team. They'll press you high up the field. The other thing, they're really dangerous on restarts, right? They get the first goal from a restart. They hit the post on a restart. That keeps you in competitions, right? When you're that organized, and we all know how important restarts are during competitions, right? So there you get an idea of the first goal. There's one immediately after this, and it was every time they got a corner kick, it felt like they were going to score a goal, right? So these are the things. But that pass there, I mean, you guys tell me, it's like threading a needle.
She does such a good job as soon as Caroline Weir gets the ball, because she draws the attack or the defenders first, which opens up that lane for Linda Caicedo to then get in behind. But it was a really complete performance from Real Madrid because, Tone, as you mentioned, Wolfsburg knows how to score. They know how to compete in these big competitions and these big games. They are a perennial Champions League winner. They've been to the final and they understand the big stakes. And Real Madrid came out today and proved to them, we're here too. Don't forget about us in this competition. But it helps when you've got players like Caroline Weir and Caicedo.
And even though they went down and got the double yellow at the end of the first half, we're playing down a player almost played right into their hands because they do want to sit back. That was not going to change their game plan, really, absorb the pressure. And we saw even on that Caicedo goal, everybody was in the attacking half for Wolfsburg. So just one through ball, and everyone's going to hedge their bets on Linda Caicedo if you're in a foot race in that situation, and an excellent first touch to be able to break out even more. So, yeah.
But they have the striker, the center forward Rodriguez, good hold up play. Feller on the other side, right, also giving them a little width and a little bit of depth. So they they know who they are, right, and they clearly feel comfortable. And when you take a team like Wolfsburg that does score goals, you got to be really organized, and that's what you saw today. So when I watch games, it doesn't matter if I know the players are. I'm always trying to figure out, like, what's the identity. You and I have had this conversation once before, right?
Yep.
What's the identity of the team? What are they trying to do? It doesn't mean you're going to win or you're going to lose. Just we have an idea, and you can see clearly from Real Madrid what they're trying to do.
I think for Wolfsburg, though, how disappointing, because with all the attack, you'd think, you know, for Real Madrid to go down to 10 men just before half-time, they've got a full half. It's difficult sometimes to play against a team that is going to sit back just a little bit more with less players. But is this a sheep in wolf's clothing? 19 shots, 6 of which were on target. Was it just not their day in some ways, Lisa?
Yeah, it was uncharacteristic of Wolfsburg because clearly they create chances, and they do. When they have players like Berenstein pop on the pitch, they understand spatial awareness, restarts. We talked about that for Real Madrid. Wolfsburg on set pieces, they are so dangerous, and they came really close today, but Real Madrid was sitting back so deep, and it was hard for Wolfsburg to pick out different spaces that they could get in behind. And at the start of this day, Wolfsburg was in 3rd place. Now they've dropped, and Real Madrid has jumped ahead of them. But to me, it just says how tight this Champions League competition is and how tight some of these teams are. And it's just such fine margins at the top of the table that separate teams.
What about Linda Caicedo, though? Because even though they won and even though she scored, she did go off with an injury. You were talking about how she has struggled with injuries, especially over the past couple of years. How much of a loss would that be if she's out for more of a significant amount of time, Laurie?
Yeah, huge loss. Just given the way that they want to play, the verticality that she presents. I mean, case in point, that second goal sums it all up with how Real Madrid wants to play. So, but also just as she continues to progress, I mean, she's been on the world stage for Colombia, Real Madrid from such a young age. So hopefully it's not a long-term injury and she's able to get right back, and because she is in such an important part of the way they attack.
Where does she rank world football for you guys? Because we were in that green room and there were 20 people sitting there, and you heard she scored a goal, and we're like, hey, we hear some people saying, oh, best player in the world, right? And I always think when you say best player in the world, it's kind of of hard, like, to determine the top players, right? It's minuscule between those players. Where do you put her in world football?
I put her up at the top.
Right,
considering how young she is, I'd say she's top 5 in what she's been able to do, because she does it, Tony, so consistently for club, for country. And considering how Real Madrid does in domestic play, having to go up against Barcelona consistently, she has proven to be a force no matter what's happening in the match. If she gets a 1v1 opportunity, if she can go to goal herself, Linda Caicedo will make something happen. And we see it really consistently with Colombia. It has been impressive to see, and she's gotten better because she has been on the world stage for so many years, and the progression has continued to be there. Sometimes we see players teeter off or they kind of plateau. For Caicedo, she continues to get better.